Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you 4 one-pot meals. So all the meals are vegan or plant-based because obviously me and my family are vegan, and all of them are suitable for little people. Just a side note, if you are going to make any of these meals for children from the age of 6 months to about 1 year old, I would maybe look at using a lower salt content stock cube, just because obviously too much salt is not good for little people. So my son at the minute is 17 months old, so these recipes are perfect for him. There's not too much salt in them. If you're not making these meals for kids, I recommend maybe adding a little bit more stock or a little bit more salts just at the end, or chilli perhaps, just because it is lacking a little bit in the salt and the chilli for my personal preferences. If you do like this type of content, please do leave a comment down below. If there's anything else you would like to see from me, again, please leave a comment down below. I'm also on Instagram quite a lot, so follow me over there too if you fancy it. Let's get into the video. So for an African peanut stew, you need 1 medium onion diced, 3 minced cloves of garlic, 2 teaspoons of cumin, half teaspoon of smoked paprika, half teaspoon of cinnamon, 2 medium sweet potatoes, half a medium head of cauliflower chopped into florets, 1 tin of chickpeas or cannellini beans, 1 tin of plum tomatoes, 500 ml of vegetable stock, half a cup of natural style peanut butter, and a massive handful of washed spinach. Okay, so you're going to start by heating a heavy based pan, and then you're going to add some oil to it. I use rapeseed as it's a good source of healthy fats, but obviously any oil is fine. Then you're going to add in your onions and your garlic and give it a stir and let it fry for about 4 to 5 minutes, or until the onion has softened. Then you're going to want to add in your spices and give it a stir until they are fragrant. And then add in your sweet potatoes, cauliflower, chickpeas and your tinned tomatoes and stock. I always try and use as much sauce as I can from my tinned tomatoes, and I don't want to waste any flavour. And I also prefer plum tomatoes over chopped tomatoes, simply because with a plum tomato I can see it's a full tomato, whereas chopped tomatoes, I don't know, I heard a rumour once that it's any sort of bit of a tomato and you don't know if it's a real tomato or not, and it's probably a load of rubbish, but it's something that stuck with me, so I always use plum tomatoes. And then you're going to want to add in your peanut butter and give it all a big stir together for a few minutes, just to make sure the peanut butter is completely dissolved, and then you want to bring the whole thing to a boil. Then put a lid on it and let it simmer for 15 to 20 minutes until the sweet potato and cauliflower is soft. And then finally all you need to do is add in your spinach, and it looks like I'm adding in tons of spinach here, but it just turns into nothing. You know what spinach is like, it literally just, when it wilts, it just disappears. So add in all your spinach, give it a stir around, and then when it's soft, you just want to serve it. We added ours with rice, but obviously you can have it by itself, add it with mashed potato if you fancy that, whatever you feel like. And I don't get any awards for my presentation skills when it comes to food. Yeah, something I should probably work on, but oh well. It was delicious. So this pad thai is super quick and easy. You'll need some rice noodles or some pre-cooked noodles, only 1 pack per person, 2 cloves of garlic, 2 medium carrots grated, 2 spring onions chopped up, 200 grams of bean sprouts, a handful of peanuts, or if you're giving this to kids, I would say 1 tablespoon of smooth peanut butter, 1 tablespoon of sesame oil, 1 teaspoon of sesame seeds, 2 teaspoons of chili sauce, but obviously if you're giving it to a kid, wait till the end to add this, 45 grams of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of water, 1 pack of firm tofu, chopped up, and a lime as a garnish if you fancy. So in a large heated pan, you're going to add your sesame oil, and once it's hot, add in your tofu and fry for a good few minutes until it is golden on all sides. You do need to stir it regularly so it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan. Then you're going to add in your spring onions and garlic and fry for another few minutes, and just make sure you don't burn the garlic. Then add in your noodles, your sugar, soy sauce, water and sesame seeds. I did think that adding sugar into this recipe would be really weird, but actually it's fine. It doesn't make the meal too sweet like I thought it would. It obviously does something to make it feel more pad thai like, but yeah, it was a bit of an odd one to add into a main meal. And then you can either now add in your peanuts, or you can add in a tablespoon of smooth peanut butter, It just depends on who you're giving this to. And also add in your grated carrots and your bean sprouts. Now give it a good stir just to make sure your peanut butter, if you have used it, has completely disintegrated, because you don't want to have a big lump of peanut butter in your mouth when you're eating this later on. Then you want to reduce the heat and cover for 5 minutes, and then when it's all served up you want to garnish it with some peanuts if you fancy and a quarter of a lime. This is such a delicious dish. I highly recommend it. I love pad thai so much. As you can see, Ellis loves it too, which is great. Lentil Bolognese. You need 1 medium onion diced, 2 medium celery stalks finely diced, 4 cloves of garlic, 200 grams of dry green or brown lentils. Make sure you rinse them and soak them for 10 minutes with warm water beforehand. 300 grams of diced mushrooms, 2 grated medium carrots, 1 teaspoon of oregano, 1 teaspoon of thyme, 1 bay leaf, 1 teaspoon of sugar, 1 tablespoon of tomato paste, 2 tins of plum tomatoes, 500 ml of vegetable stock, 1 tablespoon of soy sauce and 120 ml of unsweetened plant milk. I used oat. So in a big pan you're going to put in a big glug of oil. I use rapeseed oil. Then you're going to add in your onions, celery and carrots and fry until they are soft, about 4 to 5 minutes. Then once they are soft, you're going to add in your mushrooms and garlic and all your herbs, minus the bay leaf, and let it all cook off for about a minute. And then add in your sugar, which is used to take away some of the bitterness from the tinned tomatoes. Then add in all your stock, your tinned tomatoes and your tomato paste. Then give it a good stir so it's all combined. Now it's time for your lentils. Make sure you drain them first and then add them to your pan and then add in the bay leaf. You're going to bring everything to the boil, and then as an optional step you can add in your milk and soy sauce now. I find that adding milk and soy sauce adds more flavour than just plain old water and just makes it a bit more silky, if that makes sense. So yeah, like I said, it's an optional thing, you don't have to do that. And then you're going to leave it to simmer without a lid for about 10 minutes so the liquid reduces. And then you're going to add a lid on top of the pan and let it simmer for 10 minutes until the lentils are soft. As you can tell here, I clearly didn't think to use an oven glove to hold the side of the pan, which was super hot. And then you're just going to serve it with spaghetti. I then sprinkled some nutritional yeast on top. Obviously you can use vegan cheese, or if you fancy regular cheese, then obviously add that too. And pepper as well if you fancy it. This is one of our favourites. We love spaghetti bolognese in this house. As you can see here, Ellis thoroughly enjoyed it too. Creamy pasta sauce. So for this recipe you do need to soak your cashew nuts the day before just to make sure they are soft enough to blend. You'll need 500 grams of pasta, 1 red or yellow bell pepper finely sliced, 2 cloves of minced garlic, 10 sun-dried tomatoes chopped up finely, 2 medium courgettes chopped up, 125 grams of soaked cashews, 1 tin of plum tomatoes, 1 teaspoon of oregano or basil, half a teaspoon of cumin, half a teaspoon of paprika and 500 ml of water. So to a blender you should add the cashew nuts, the tomatoes, your spices and herbs, salt and pepper if you're using, and then you're going to blend it until it is completely smooth. And then in a large heated pan add your oil and then your courgettes and pepper. And it looks like a lot of courgette here, but it reduces a lot, so it's not as much as it seems. And then you're going to fry it until it's soft, which is about 5 to 8 minutes. Make sure you do keep stirring it so it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan. Then you're going to add your garlic and fry for a further 2 minutes. And then you're going to take the veggies out of the pan and into a separate bowl. See how much they have all reduced. Insane! Then don't bother wiping out the pan because you need all that flavour. And then add in your water and your cashew sauce. Look at me getting everything I can out of that blender. And then you're going to add in your pasta and bring the whole lot to the boil. Keep stirring it because the pasta does get sticky and you don't want to burn it. And then once the pasta is al dente, look at me using fancy words, add back in your veggies and stir through, and then add in your sun-dried tomatoes too. If you do need to, add a bit more water. And I added some nutritional yeast for extra cheesiness because I love nutritional yeast. It's so good for you and it's got great flavour. Not the prettiest meal, I must say, but it was very tasty. And it's got Ellis's approval, so that's all that counts.